Human trafficking continuously makes the news headlines every day and has quickly become one of the most lucrative new business ventures worldwide. The unpredictability of a person being taken out of nowhere and delivered into a new life of forced servitude is a frightening concept, but it happens. In fact, it commonly occurs in today's world without regard for the person's free will, the fact that it's a crime, or the consideration of the global conventions against the violation of human rights. What is human trafficking? By definition, it's the crime of recruiting, transporting, transferring, harboring, or receiving humans by force, fraud, or coercion for purposes of exploitation. Labor trafficking is defined as the crime of using force, fraud, or coercive tactics to make an individual work or provide services for little or no pay. Four types of labor trafficking are debt bondage, which is the least known but most widely used, forced labor, also known as peonage or modern slavery, domestic servitude, where victims are hidden in plain sight, and child labor, where the victims are much easier to control. Little Red Riding Hood applied for a job through an online ad. An upbeat interview was soon followed by a job offer for Big Bad Wolf Industries. Red was instructed to bring the ID and passport for orientation. Arriving early, the manager asked for the IDs to copy and showed Red to an office. But why was it so dark in here? Later, Red woke up in a moving vehicle, feeling terrible. A voice in the dark said they had been threatened with a gun and hit from behind. When the vehicle stopped, they were taken inside a house where two men described their brand new job. They were told not to interact with the resident family, and if they didn't do their work well, they'd suffer abuse, even death. Red did as told 4 years, and something Red would never know, their own mom and dad were only 7 miles away. Not all stories have a happy ending. Case study: Vladimir Moreno and Los Villatoros, labor trafficking in Florida. Who is he? He's the owner of LVH, a farm labor contracting company. Moreno misled workers with false promises of legal jobs and fair pay. After arriving, victims were forced to work long hours, 6 to 7 days a week with minimal pay. Passports were confiscated to prevent escape. They were trapped by debts from inflated travel and visa fees, threatened with arrest or deportation if they resisted, and they lived in crowded, unsanitary conditions. Moreno operated a criminal enterprise using LVH across Florida, Kentucky, Indiana, Georgia, and North Carolina. He submitted false visa applications and lied to federal agencies, falsified worker records to hide abuse during federal investigations, and violated the RICO, Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, and forced labor laws. Legal outcome: he was sentenced to 118 months, nearly 10 years, in prison, ordered to pay $175,000 plus in restitution to Mexican H-2A workers. Labor trafficking through social media. Some victims are trafficked after responding to fake job ads on social media or online links, just like Red in our story. Traffickers develop professional-looking accounts and post fake job openings to persuade victims. The friendly appearance of social media often disguises danger, making it easier to deceive young users. Many young users are especially vulnerable when they see flashy lifestyles, offers, or an opportunity to make easy money. With 4.2 billion social media users and 4.66 billion internet users globally, traffickers have unmatched reach. 95% of teenagers have access to a smartphone, and 45% of teenagers report being online on a near constant basis. In 2020, over 10,500 trafficking cases were reported in the U.S. 10% involved labor trafficking. 41% of victims were recruited online in 2020. The internet was the #1 recruitment method for human trafficking. Social media platforms that are used for trafficking include Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, dating apps Tinder, streaming Kick, also job-seeking apps like LinkedIn. How can we help? The Department of Homeland Security recommends reporting suspicious activity. If you are in the United States and believe someone may be a victim of human trafficking, call the 24-hour National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888. Report an emergency to law enforcement by calling 911. Trafficking victims, whether or not U.S. citizens, are eligible for services and immigration assistance. Recognize the red flags. Learn how to recognize traffickers' recruitment tactics, how to safely navigate out of a suspicious or comfortable situation, and how to reach out for help at any time. Store the hotline numbers in your phone today. Don't wait. Internet, do your thing. Use your social media platforms to raise awareness about human trafficking using the following hashtags: #EndTrafficking and #FreedomFirst. Be vigilant. Make sure you will not become a statistic. Endeavor to speak up when you see something strange, and always question things that seem too good to be true, because they usually are. Thank you for your time and attention. This presentation has been brought to you by Team 11, Sandra Basile and Camila Colon Diaz.